Yeah, see, we're not scheduled to start. Okay, okay, okay. Welcome everyone to our podcast for today. For the Fantasy Podcast, my name is EJ and I'm the host for today's session. And with us, we have guests. We'll start with Ola. Welcome, Ola. Welcome back. And returning guest, Josh. Long time no see. Welcome back. Nice to hear
Thanks
you.
for having me. Always a pleasure.
All right, all right. So today we're going to get into, we're going to just start, just jump in. This has been like, I would say a crazy last 10 days. Last 10 days in the EPL. We all know what's been going on. This weekend alone, we played only 4 games out of the usual maybe 10 matches that usually happen every weekend. And we know why that's the case. So we're just going to jump into it. What do you think? What's going on with the season? EPL COVID crisis is what I'm calling it. And I think, I mean, me personally, I didn't realize what the EPL had done, aka nothing, to prepare for this kind of this kind of event, because they didn't have any rules in place. They don't have any consistent rules in place anyway, as far as we can see. And now we're seeing games being canceled left and right. We're seeing clubs, telling us that, oh, we have 10 players in quarantine or isolation and blah, blah, blah. So what do you guys think? Do you think we should be pausing the season, create a bubble, or just keep moving? I'll start with you, Ola.
Okay, no problem at all. And it's good that just to let people know. Josh is normally a United fan, but it's probably giving us the insight into Serie A today because I can see the Juventus top there. So he'll be telling us the perspective from Serie A, because I think they probably are more organized. The Italians are probably more organized than the English because it's a shambles. It's a shambles. I was still venting even when Chelsea were playing today. I was still venting on our Facebook group because I can't get my head around it that some clubs would apply for a match to be. I can even imagine what EJ is feeling like because EJ was even banging his drum from the beginning of the season because when Arsenal had to play and Arsenal had COVID cases, so I can imagine how annoyed you'll be feeling. But even today, I was like, if I was a Chelsea fan, I would be really angry because how can okay, the manager said they had 7 cases, 7 positive cases. So maybe that includes maybe staff and players, but that doesn't even 7 is a lot. And they applied for the game to be postponed, and then the Premier League said no, you have to play. Now I know some clubs are probably being a bit cheeky. I know because these are football clubs we're talking about. They will exploit anything. But even at that, I would have expected there should be a consensus, a consistent approach. There is no consistent approach. They're just winging it. They're winging it in the Premier League. They say they're doing it like case by case basis. What the hell does that mean? Case by case basis. What's that? Like UEFA have it in black and white for their UEFA competitions. If you have less than 13 senior players available, and if you have no goalkeeper, the match gets postponed. It's there in black and white. It applies to everything. So that's the barometer. Premier League doesn't have anything like that. They're just winging it. So the most the most annoying one was when Spurs and Leicester City applied and said, "Oh, we want this game postponed." The Premier League said, "No, no, no, you guys are going to play. You're going to play on Thursday. No, no, don't try that nonsense." And then Thursday arrived and they did a 360 and said, "Okay, actually, we're going to cancel this game." Now, for us at home, we are frustrated. Imagine people like us watching from home, but now imagine the fans who actually get on the train, who get on the bus, who are traveling to the match, and they are almost there, and then you cancel the game. That happened yesterday, also for Burnley. Who were they playing? Was it Burnley Norwich? I think it was Burnley. No, Villa, Villa Burnley. I think there were fans already traveling and then they canceled the game 2 hours, 2 hours before the match. They canceled the game. Fans who have bought tickets, who have woken up early in the morning, they don't care. I'm sorry, I'm ranting, but I really can't get. How can a multi-billion pound industry not have things in place for this kind of situations? Now, like EJ rightly said, there were supposed to be 10 games over the weekend, only 4 matches get played. So where is the integrity of the league now? Where's the integrity of the league? Some teams are getting time off. Spurs had 2 weeks off before they play Liverpool today. Is that not an advantage for them? They, of course, they have stronger legs. Liverpool have been playing every 3 days. Every 3 days, they had 2 weeks off. Liverpool had 4 players out to COVID today. Now, I'm not saying that's why we drew, because we still had a strong enough team. But where's the consistency? Some teams will come in and say, "Oh, we have cases, we don't want to play," and then they don't play. But I don't know. It's a shambles, and I shouldn't be surprised. I shouldn't be surprised, but I am surprised at the same time, because this is not just, we are talking about people's health here. I put up a post about Kevin De Bruyne was still complaining that, look, he got COVID and he's still not 100% right. There are players who are catching this stuff who don't come back 100% right. And we're putting them and their lives are in danger, and their families' lives in danger. And we are telling them to keep playing. What's happening? It's crazy. Sorry for the rant. Sorry for the rant.
No worries, man. I think we're all frustrated, to be honest.
It's mad. It's mad. It's mad. No, that's all I have to say for now. Like, to be honest, it's just a shambles. It's shambles. I know they have a meeting tomorrow. They said they're having a meeting tomorrow, but I don't think they want to stop the league. I think they just want to keep. If the club say we want to play, they'll play. But the league is so lopsided now. Some teams have played 17 games. Some teams have played 16. Some teams have played 15. What's happening? Where are you even? In my mind, I think they should just pause everything. Just say, okay, everybody, just pause for 2 weeks. Let's see how this thing is going. Let's see how quickly we can get people with booster shot. Let's see whether we can stop the curve from going upwards. Let's just take a 2 week break. Let's see how it goes. That's the best way to just like break this cycle, because it's going to keep spreading. Like Liverpool will have 4, and I can guarantee you before the end of the week we'll probably have 6 or 7 out, because it's very infectious. This Omicron variant is very infectious. So just do that, what they're saying, circuit breaker. But I don't think they'll do the right thing. I'll be shocked if they do the right thing tomorrow. I'll be really shocked, because these people are inept. They're just terrible. They're terrible at organizing when it comes to things like this. So that's all I have to say for now.
Very good. How about you, Josh? What do you think?
I'm just like Ola as well. I'm frustrated. I'm wearing a Juventus jersey today because I looked at my United jerseys and I said, "What's the point of wearing it? I can't remember the last time that we played." It feels like so long ago that we played, so it's like, what's the point? So I figured I'd wear this jersey just to spice it up. But obviously I'm frustrated as well. I think everyone is just frustrated, not even on just the football side of things, just life in general. I think as a society, as globally, I think everyone is just kind of getting to that point where we're just fed up now. The only thing that the part of the issue too, I've always found, is communication, right? Obviously, there's difficulty in terms of privacy. You can't disclose what players have COVID, because I know with Manchester United there was 3 players for the, what was the game we're supposed to play midweek?
In the league,
Sir? Brighton. I forget it now. Oh crap. But anyways, our midweek game, apparently 3 players had COVID, and it even turned out the 3 players that got COVID were not even the players that start week in, week out. So you're kind of looking and saying, okay, if 3 players got COVID, why can't we still play? You look at the workplace for we regular folks. If someone gets COVID, we don't just shut down the entire organization or the department and say, oh, hey guys, just go home, and you know what, we'll come back in 2 weeks. They make arrangements. They make arrangements to ensure that business still runs. And I think it's the same thing with football. We got to start looking at it from that standpoint. Is it's Christmas time. We all look forward to this period where we have games every 2 days or every 3 nights. And then you also look at it from the business standpoint. Like you said, fans have to travel. You know what I mean? The broadcasting rights that they have. Also, the fixture congestions as well, we got to look at in the new year. Champions League, we still got Champions League. Once it's January, we're going to start playing the cup competitions, like the FA Cups. If you're still in the Carabao Cup, you're going to be playing that. So there's going to be a lot of congestion, and I think the EPL is not really thinking that far ahead. What else do I want to say there? I think it's kind of like the same thing that we've seen, right, with our governments here in Canada. Same things happening in the UK. The states are the same thing, whereby there is no heads up, right? It's just decisions are made on the fly. Decisions are not made with the general public in mind. Like you have businesses being told to shut down, like your restaurants. You're being told to shut down on Saturday at midnight on a Friday, and it's like, okay, how are these organizations supposed to prep? Same thing with the fans. How are we supposed to prep for cancellation of games? So it is frustrating. Overall, I honestly don't believe that they should cancel it. I think obviously there's certain teams that I do agree that it has to be a case by case basis, just because some teams are more impacted than others. But I do agree with the bubble solution, like just like the NBA did it successfully, whereby obviously soccer is a bit bigger, so you can't have just one bubble. But if you can have it where, because you kind of think about back in the day of what's his name, Van Gaal from Manchester United. He had players staying at the training ground, to ensure that they were working on things. Juventus, the jersey that I'm wearing, they do have a very strict, regimen in terms of their training. Sometimes they have to stay at the training grounds to ensure that they have their fitness right, that they're eating healthy. So clubs have the money to be able to create a conducive atmosphere for players to be able. I know, yes, it's tough to not be with your family. I haven't seen my family for over a year. You know what I mean? And I'm dealing with it because my family is all over the map, like all over the world. So I think players can handle it for a couple of months, right? They're getting paid millions of dollars to do that. So I think the EPL needs to figure out how can we create a bubble whereby players are staying at the training grounds, making sure that they're not, you know what I mean, that they're not getting in contact with people that might have COVID, or like the regular folks who have to go on the streets every day and go to work. So that's my thing, is we need to come to a solution in terms of, but I don't think football should stop. You got to think about people's mental health. I don't. People don't realize how much football helped people during lockdowns. Like it was huge. So I'm against shutting it down. So sorry, my last point, like I said, let's take it back to I do agree the case by case basis, because some teams might be impacted a bit more. But if a team like Manchester United comes out and says, "Oh, we want to forfeit, we want to postpone this game because of three people have COVID," then at that point you should settle for a draw. And I think if you settle for a draw, it's going to start making teams realize that, what, before we start applying for postponement of games, we got to think this through. We got to make sure that it is a legitimate case. You know what I mean? But if not, it's just as simple as, okay, you want to postpone this game? We're just gonna call it a draw for you. And I think we got to start putting the responsibility back on the clubs as well. So that's my take on it.
Let me bring this back. We'll take this comment from, I assume it's Io. I think I vote for a 2-week pause and a mini bubble type situation. So both of you have said two different things. I think, Ola, you were more in favor of a pause, meaning that, almost like a Christmas break, kind of like what we did last year, but last year was more of a forced pause, and that was way longer. It wasn't 2 weeks, it was months. And then you're going for a bubble, Josh, or keep playing. And sorry, there's another comment here that I think is pertinent before I go into what I want to say. I think the full vaccination rates of the EPL is too low, and just pausing without any type of containment still leads back to the same situation. Okay, I think that's fair. I think the number I saw was 81% of patients in the of players in the EPL have gotten at least one shot.
Is that bad?
Wow.
Okay, because I know Sky Sports News, they were saying, I think wasn't on today's Sunday, I think on Friday, they said they reached out to the Premier League to ask what were the rate of vaccinated players, and they're not gotten any information back. So if it's 81%,
I saw that number. I saw 81%. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, but, wow, that's still low compared to Spain and Italy.
Especially if you say one shot. 81% getting one shot. If it's a 2-shot vaccine, then you're not fully vaccinated. What we need is the numbers for the full vaccination. So maybe that's what I is saying here. It's probably very low. If it's just 81% has gotten one shot, I don't know the number, the percentage. And we're at the time where people should be getting their booster shots by now, right? So if you haven't gotten that, then you're probably not as protected as you could be from COVID. All right, so this is my take. Look, Ola, you rightly said I was upset. I was upset at the beginning of the season when they made Arsenal play that match. The reason why is because it was hidden. A lot of us on Twitter, a lot of Arsenal fans did not know why Oba, Laka were not playing that game. It just came out the day before, they're not available. And we're like, oh, I mean, they said they were sick, but they didn't say that it was COVID, or they tested positive for COVID. It was more just, we did not know. So in my opinion, that was hidden. And then we're all speculating. We thought there had been a falling out between the coach and the players. We thought our club was in crisis. Then we feel like 4 teenagers. We got kicked, we got beaten by Brentford. Brentford is an okay team, but I think we obviously didn't take them seriously. I think we could have done way better against them if we had played, we hadn't made last minute changes to go play them because, Premier League didn't have any plans for us having COVID. And now so obviously I was very upset seeing all these players, all these teams get time off for having Tottenham, Spurs. I guess they had 8 players out the first time we got the permission to take that break. And I was like, you know what? Eventually I calmed down. I was like, COVID is serious. I for one, I work in the ICU and we are in a surge in America. So we're in another surge that's coming back up. And my thing with this is that apart from the fact that EPL didn't have a complete strategy, why didn't they mandate vaccines? I don't like using that word mandate. I work in a place where we have mandated people to get vaccinated. But you would hope that people just know to get vaccinated for their own health. And also because you're playing a team sport where you're going to be in contact with people. You need to protect yourself. It's not a benign disease like you were saying, Ola. What's his name? De Bruyne still has the side effects from COVID. Yes, you're young. Yes, you're healthy. You may recover. You may not even feel that you had COVID. But we can't guarantee that. And why would you take that chance? Why would you want to catch COVID? So I think they should have mandated it or at least told the teams to give an incentive for having the vaccine to keep their product alive. Or then if you don't have the vaccine, now you have to take precautions. Okay, maybe you get tested. I don't know what their testing policy is like. Maybe you get tested 3 times a week because you're going to be in close quarters with people. If you have the vaccine, maybe you're only once every 2 weeks. If you don't have the vaccine, you're 3 times a week. So by the time you start testing someone that much, they get tired. They're like, hell, I'm just going to go get the vaccine now. Things like that, So that's what NFL, NBA. I mean, you guys know, if you know anything about the NBA, Kyrie hasn't played since the beginning of the season because guess what? The venue where he plays mandated that everyone that walks in has to be vaccinated. And the team decided that, well, I'm not going to have Kyrie Irving play only half the games this season because he won't be able to play at home. Even though right now they're going through a COVID crisis, he's going to join the team. That's a different problem. But those are the kind of things you want to put in place because your product is I don't know if it's $1 billion product. It's a really expensive product. The EPL is, right?
Yeah, so it's definitely $1 billion.
$1 billion. Why would you not put things in place to make sure you protect it? That's my thing. NFL did that same thing. People who lied about their vaccinations, we've seen them. They're out. Like, they're fine. They're everything. If you don't want to be vaccinated, that's fine. Wear a mask everywhere you go. Get tested 3 times a week. Things like that. So EPL could have protected their product better by putting set rules in place. And then you may not have all these cancellations or excessive postponements. Now you have to play all these games at some point. That's why I don't feel bad for people. I always say bird in hand is worth 2 in the bush. Play your games now. I want to see the points on the table,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care if you don't play your games now. Play it later. And then you're going to play 3 games in a week at some point because you have too many games in hand. But as far as stopping the league for me, okay, sorry. As far as stopping the league for me, I just wanted to put that comment on there because we're getting that information that 81% had 1 shot and then 68% had double.
Wow.
So that's pretty low. Yeah.
That's for Premier League because the reason why I wanted to clarify, because even in the lower league it's worse. According to the figures I saw late last, like maybe on Thursday, in the EFL, the Championship and the leagues below in England, it was 58% double jab And they actually did a survey, and 25% of the players in the lower leagues actually say they don't want to take it. That's 25% of the players. So it's a problem. Now I'll come out and say also, okay, being fully vaccinated doesn't mean you can't catch it. Doesn't mean so it reduces the risk. So it
Yeah.
reduces the risk of reinfection. It reduces the risk of you getting very sick from it and ended up in the hospital. So it's just like so because the people that are always we have to look at the other side of people who don't believe in this. So we can't just come here and just say, oh, this is what we believe. That's why I don't, even though I am double jabbed, I won't say I want to force anybody to take it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if the Premier League would have had the legal ground to force players to take it, but you would have thought like maybe with common sense, with common sense that these players, that you guys are earning so much money from this, and this is your livelihood. You're going to miss games if you get infected, which is what is happening now. So for
The thing
England,
is
I
this:
don't know.
if you're vaccinated, like in most sports here, if you're vaccinated and you catch COVID, the protocol is less. It's not 10 days out. It's more like 4 days out. If you can show me a
Ah,
negative test,
so
that's
that's an
that's
incentive. That's an
Oh
yeah. Those are
wow.
the
incentive.
things.
Okay.
That's
They bring you back
that
faster if you're
exactly.
protected. You just tested
That's
positive.
some.
Okay, fine. Are you sick? Are you
That's
still testing positive? No, come back sooner. So
that's an
things like
incentive.
that can
That's one.
help.
That's one of the things you're saying, EJ, that they should make an incentive for these players that say, okay, if you have your double jab, then you don't have to stay out as long as like somebody who doesn't. So that's the kind of thing they should be focusing on. But in addition to why I said they should pause for 2 weeks, the reason is there's a 2 week break coming up in January anyway. So I was thinking, why not just use that 2 week break now to assess what how the situation will be, and then instead of having that 2 week break in January, play all through January because hopefully by that time things will have slowed down. Wow, that's hopefully. I'm just being optimistic.
Yeah.
But for me, the biggest issue is the lack of consistency and transparency, and this is one thing Klopp was really raging about in the press conference. I think on Friday, it was like there's no transparency. Like Josh said, some of these clubs they don't even tell you who has it. They say, "Oh, okay, we have 3 or 4 players out, or we have staff out," and they don't say who. And now for us in Liverpool, we are operating a transparent policy. So immediately anybody catches it, we say who has it. So Thiago has it, Henderson has it, Fabinho has it, Curtis Jones has it. So straight away we say, but not all, the clubs are not legally obliged to do that in the Premier League. So some of them, there's no clarity. So some of them will say, "Oh, we
Yeah.
have 7 out," and next thing they are applying for the match to be cancelled. Now, and the annoying thing is, it puts pressure on the clubs who have actually done the right thing. Like in Liverpool, we have 100%, well, close to maybe 99.9 or 99% double jabbed, and some are even taking their booster shots already. Now, that's the kind of club that has done the right thing, but then their matches are likely to be cancelled because we have to play Leicester. We have to play
Okay, so how
Leicester
did
this week.
Liverpool get there? How did Liverpool get there without a mandate? So that was their club, and they're
It's because
buying
the,
into it.
yes, they
Yeah.
bought into it because of the manager. The Klopp has always been pro vaccination from the beginning. So the
And plus,
players
he
bought
lost his
into it.
mother to COVID too, right? Was that him or Pep
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. His
that
mother
lost?
passed
Yeah.
during COVID. Yeah.
So
So he bought into it. So it depends on the manager or whoever. I don't know why so many. I still don't understand why so many players in England are scared of it. I really don't. I really don't, because you think that this is England. Come on, why would you people be? I don't know. Maybe they're just buying into conspiracy theories. But the repercussions are so big now. The repercussions are so big because so many games have been cancelled. And like you said, where are we going to push those games into? Like some teams have 3 games in hand. Don't forget, we have this midweek. We have the League Cup. We have the League Cup this week, and there's some lower, like maybe in the FA Cup. The FA Cup is starting in January. This is another thing Klopp was saying. These lower base teams, like I said, only 58% of them, 58% are double jabbed.
yeah.
So if you are going to play a lower league team, you have another chance of picking up infections from playing the lower league team in the FA Cup. Like Liverpool were playing against Shrewsbury, and Shrewsbury, like a lot of the players are not vaccinated, even though the Shrewsbury coach, I'll just give you this, the Shrewsbury town coach was in hospital with COVID for 50 days. And even
Oh
at
wow,
that,
they're
his,
still
his,
not. Yeah.
his
Yeah.
I mean,
players
I
are
have
still not
patients
taking.
that we see patients at the hospital. Their parents have died from COVID, and the children come in and they're clearly saying that we're not going to get vaccinated, even though they've seen it
It's
firsthand.
crazy.
So you just never know. I'm going to put
It's
this
crazy.
comment on here. I think it's just to clarify. This Jacob is saying that look at the NFL with the highest vaccine rates now. NFL does have a high vaccine rate, and they are canceling games, more postponement and all of that. NFL has a schedule. NFL has 17 weeks to get seven. Each team has to play 17 games. They may have 18 weeks. They have a break, and then they start the playoffs. NFL is going to be on schedule, so they'll force those games in. It's a little bit different from the Premier League, that each team plays 38 games, and there's a lot more. It's going to be a lot more tighter.
And
They'll
we've
play
got
the game on the Tuesday. Yeah,
we've got both country like internationals. Like soccer is a little different than North American sports, just because.
So
yeah,
big. I don't know if there's a big, what you call it. I think the answer is to keep the players vaccinated. I mean, that's me. Obviously, I'm a big believer in it, and I get that. I don't really get the hesitation, but I'll forgive your hesitation if you as a team have a plan. I'm not really big into postponing the games. I think you should use other players to play, aka go into your under 23. The way we had to go into our under 23 and play that Brentford game. That's how I feel about that. But
hey, like they say, right? In times of crisis is an opportunity. So this is an opportunity for the under 23s or the youth, to show what they have, right? Like, so I agree with that.
I just think they should just do what. Oh, okay, yeah, that's that asking. I don't know. I live close to England. Because I live in Ireland and it's very high here. It's like probably maybe 90-something%. And I don't know why England's different. But what I was going to say was, I think they should just have adopted something similar to what UEFA did. So what's annoying for me is the lack of consistency, like I keep going back to, because for some reason, some teams are getting theirs called off and some teams are not getting their matches called off when they apply for it. So they should just have done what UEFA did and said, okay, if you don't have up to 13 players, then we can call it off. But if you can name 13 players and a goalkeeper, you have to play the match. Now, some teams are just declaring at the last minute, oh, we don't have up to 6 players. We have 6 players out today, cancel the match. There's no consistency. What they did to Chelsea today, really, it's really annoying, because Chelsea asked for this and then you said no. And they have like 4 or 5 key players out. But you did that for other teams. You called games off for other teams. And you're not letting us know actually whether those because those teams actually are anonymously saying they have players, but they're not telling us whether it's senior players or youth team players. So where's the clarity? Where's the transparency? Where's the consistency? If you can't provide all of that, then pause the league. That's my opinion, that if you can't show us transparency and clarity, having a rule for everybody, then pause the league until things get better. But at the moment, everything's just a shambles. It's just a shambles, man.
Good job. Yeah, I think the league has to come up. I mean, everyone's working on the fly. That's how these teams have been operating, but they need to work faster on the fly, come up with better rules. They've known about COVID for a while. I think we are going to live with COVID, but we have to figure out how to live better with COVID, protect the product, keep the fans entertained, keep everyone healthy. I think things can be done at the same time. They're not the only sport in the world. All right, let's move on to this. So, title challenge is getting kind of, heated. Manchester City is at the top, 44 points. Liverpool played today, drew against Spurs. They're at 41 points. Chelsea drew against, who did they play? Wolves. Okay, yeah, they drew against Wolves. And last but not least, who's behind them? Oh, it's us. Well, we're talking about title challenge.
Title challenge.
Well, I didn't say that. We're talking
you know what's crazy though? I don't think I've seen Arsenal top 4 in a long time, so I gotta give you guys.
I was so shocked.
Christmas miracles happen,
Yeah. So let's talk about the title challenge. What do you guys really think? I mean, I was of the opinion that day where there were 3 changes in one day. You guys remember it was Chelsea that morning, the next thing Liverpool for the afternoon, and then later that day was City that stayed on top. I did think that City would not relinquish the title at that time. And then I heard I think one of the commentators for the match said that City, whenever they've been at the top at Christmas, that they have always won the league. So what do you guys think? Do you think it's a foregone conclusion that City have won the title? Do you think Chelsea is out of the title race? Do you think there's a chance for Liverpool? I'll start with you, Josh. Yeah.
Um, I was because I said this because I was doing a show with my friend who was a Chelsea fan and another United fan, and he was so adamant that Chelsea was going to be on top, Liverpool second, and City third, because this is when City was still sitting on third place. And the one thing I said was, City has done this season after season where they start off slow, they lose to a Norwich, a Burnley, and everyone's like, oh, oh, City's in crisis. And then Christmas, they just seem to just get that groove in Christmas. It's always, whether it's Phil Foden, now Bernardo Silva, there's always a player that just like steps up. Actually, last season was Gundogan that
Gundogan.
just steps
Yeah.
up. Yeah, and just they just control it, and they just get into that rhythm. And it's like once they hit that top spot, it's very hard. It's very hard to knock them off. This season is a little different. I don't think any team like the top three, obviously, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. I don't think anyone is out of the title race yet, just because this season is going to be a little different, especially with COVID, how we're experiencing COVID right now. City has been lucky; they haven't really had too many cases yet. We don't know. City might also start having cases where things might things might get uneasy for them. I still believe that they could drop some points. This season might be a little different. They might drop some points. I still believe Liverpool is going to drop some points, especially if the African Cup of Nations goes on. Liverpool will be losing some players, so that's an opportunity for Chelsea to capitalize. And someone like Chelsea, for example, they have their cases right now, so maybe this might be a good thing. Whereby in the new year, City might be the team that starts having cases, and then Liverpool missing certain players, and Chelsea having their players back. That could see the tide change. But I don't think the title race is over yet. I don't think City has gone away with it. But the likes of Chelsea, Liverpool, it's on them. And actually, you know what? I'm going to put my chest out there and say a team like Manchester United. I know, people are gonna say, "Oh, Josh, you're speaking too soon." Jumping the gun already. But I think we're in a situation whereby we're having our cases early as well. This 2 week break that we're gonna have or might have, or the suspension of games, is gonna give us an ability, some time for us to adapt to the new coach's tactics and system. So it could be a good thing. It could also be a bad thing as well, whereby these players come back from COVID and they're all sluggish. We saw it, like KDB talked about that. We saw it with Joshua Kimmich from
Yeah.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Pogba, the same thing when he first came back last season and just looked at shadow of himself. So it could go either way, but I think it's still early to say that anyone's out of the race. But I think each team is going to have an opportunity, a window of opportunity to um, to take that opportunity. I mean, to take that spot. And one last thing, we all know City, especially this season, their main goal is the Champions League. I know every season it's the Champions League seems to be their goal, but I think this season is one of those seasons whereby City has to win the Champions League. So I think once the Champions League resumes, I think City's focus might drift a little bit, depending on how many points they have ahead of other teams. Um, if Liverpool, I'm just saying, gonna say Liverpool and Chelsea, if they can keep it close to City, then they have a good chance come February when the Champions League kicks off. Because at that point, City's focus might drift away to Europe instead of the Premier League.
Before I let you go, Allah, let me take this comment because it's a jab at me. Last time I assume he's saying Arsenal was in top four. COVID wasn't even a thing yet. Of course, that's a given. COVID just started last year. Okay, all right. So, Allah, let's go. What do you have?
I don't like all the disrespect that they're showing to us now, because it's not easy being in the top four. If it was easy, Man United will be there right now. If it was easy. So yeah, let's show some respect to Arsenal. They're in top four. Come on, guys, come on. They deserve it. But to
We
be
gotta give
fair,
them their flowers, right? Like we've made fun of them. We bantered Arsenal for so long. for
Exactly.
sitting in 10th place. So now they're in 4th place. We got to give them the flowers.
Exactly. Exactly.
Love it.
Please, let's let's give them. I know it's like two two defeats on the bounce, and then they win three on the bounce, then another two defeats on the bounce. So yeah, so they've had two wins or three wins on the bounce. So we know they're going to resume probably back to two defeats on the bounce again. So let them enjoy
In
it, man.
our next two games is 2 games away is City, so we all know how that
Oh,
works.
So that's the thing with Arsenal. I think Arsenal has been unlucky this season in the sense of um you guys are winning games. Sorry, Ola, you're gonna go. Sorry,
no, you go
you
on. No, no,
Arsenal
Josh, go. No, no.
Arsenal is
We're
winning
Finish
gonna
what
get
you're
games.
to
saying.
Arsenal, so
Okay,
let's
so
hold that thought because we will
okay,
get to Arsenal in a bit. But
got it.
Okay,
hold on,
so
let's stay on topic before we
title.
we
Okay,
go in.
title contenders. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, for the title race, I think City have maximized their good run of fixtures. I think that's really helped them because I think the last 5 or 6 fixtures are games you think City will win, and of course they've won and they've won very well. They beat Leeds 7-0, beat Newcastle 4-0, and actually Liverpool had like maybe plus 9 goal difference. I mean, we had like our goals difference was nine better than City, and now they've wiped out our goals difference. They wiped it all out. I think we're equal on goals difference now. So they did what. Yeah, I think they wiped it. I think we are the same goals
Yeah,
difference
because
now.
that's 11 goals in 2 games. That's
Yeah, yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. And Liverpool beat. We won 3-1. So yeah, they wiped out the nine goal lead that we had. But I expected them to do that. In fact, I was thinking if we get to January, 3 points within touching distance of them, I'll still be happy because this run of games are games you just expected City to win. And I knew we had Spurs and we had Everton in this run. And those were games I was thinking we actually go drop points. And we dropped points only to Spurs today. So I'm relatively calm. It's still 3 points. The biggest factor will be coming up to January. Do City go out into the market and buy a striker? Because at the moment they're beating a lot of teams 4-0, 5-0. But imagine if they now said, okay, we actually do need a striker because what's his name is out for a long time. The Spanish guy, the young guy, forgotten his name.
Torres.
Um, Torres is out for a long time. I think he's out for the season. So they might be thinking, okay, we might need a striking option. Would they go back for Harry Kane? Who knows? So if they went back for Harry Kane, I mean that's the end of the season in my opinion. If they went back for Harry Kane, that's it. If they would go back for Harry Kane and get him, that's it. There's nobody winning the league this season except City. So that's what I'm thinking. What's January transfer? For me, that's a crucial factor. The January transfer market. Now, Liverpool, we don't seem like we're going to buy anybody because Klopp was saying, "Oh, Salah and Mane are going for the AFCON, but we'll use what we have." So I have faith. I have faith in Firmino. I have faith in Jota, and I think we will just manage and try and. Our January fixtures are not too bad. After Chelsea, I think our fixtures in January are not too bad if the fixtures go ahead. Now, regarding Chelsea for me, they have a slight issue because they have the Club World Cup. I think they have that in February or end of January. So there are 2 weeks where they're not going to play. They're going to miss 2 games in the Premier League. Come, I think it's in January. They're going for the Club World Cup, so they'll be away playing that. So they're going to have to play catch up when they
Oh
come
yeah,
back.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have to play catch up on fixtures. And at the moment, their strikers are having COVID. Lukaku is out with COVID. Werner is out with COVID. Today, Hudson Odoi out with COVID. So they're going to be struggling for goals in this period, and they are. Like today, they didn't score. So, which was why I thought they shouldn't have played that game because they had like crucial players out, which the Premier League really messed up. So, in my opinion, the title race is still on, but the biggest factors are January transfer market, and then Chelsea's ability to catch up after they come back from the Club World Cup. For Liverpool, I think we'll hang in there. Salah and Mane probably will be gone for maybe 3 or 4 weeks. I think we might have enough goals as long as we don't get injuries anywhere else. I think we still have enough goals in the team. But at the moment, no, I don't think the title is over.
All right. Some feedback going on. Let's see.
Yeah.
Let me. Okay, I think we're good.
Sorry, guys.
Okay,
I
you have
switched
to
to
add.
my laptop.
Yeah,
Sorry about
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah,
Got it.
closed it.
Okay, good points. Good points. I personally think that Chelsea is out of the title race. Yay! Not yay. Look, everyone thinks I hate
Ooh.
Chelsea. I don't hate Chelsea. I just,
Oh.
I just, I've never really believed in their coach, and I think he. And I'm not going to say anything more about that before they attack me. I got attacked
Dada is
severely
coming for
last week.
you.
I
Dada is
know, I
coming for
know,
you.
I know. But you know what? I'm already seeing on Twitter. I've seen some Tuchel out already, so I think I'm justified. But anyway,
Man, Chelsea fans need to calm down. Like Chelsea fans
oh,
need
they're
to
all going to be Tuchel.
hold their
If Tuchel
horses,
loses
man.
another
Like,
game, he'll be out in their mind. But that's
yeah,
that. But
because
look,
he won the
I think
Champions League, all of a sudden he should just, just win
it's
every
not enough for
game.
them. Yeah, it's not enough for them. But yeah, I think with Chelsea, you guys, I mean, they have strikers that weren't. I mean, even before COVID, they weren't really scoring. Even Lukaku, I don't remember the last time he scored. So the things like that, just I feel like there's a paucity of goals in the league for them that they're not taking advantage of. Today they didn't look that bad, but Wolves actually played with them. And I was thinking about Wolves. Wolves played Chelsea, United, and Liverpool the same way we played those. By we I mean Arsenal. We played those three Chelsea teams, and it was. I saw something here that. Sorry, let's put this on here so I can remember to talk about it. Okay. So we played those three teams, and Arsenal. Remember how we played was so. You guys killed us basically. All those three teams kind of. City battered us. Liverpool battered us, and Chelsea. I would say they battered us too. But Wolves played those games close. All those three games were played close. Liverpool, you guys nicked the goal at the end. And then they played Chelsea really well today. And Chelsea is the one out of those three teams that couldn't convert that game to a win. And I just think it's almost like, to me, that's going to be telling on their season. I think they're going to fall short. I thought they had a chance, but the way City's playing, I don't think there's going to be any room for Chelsea to have their little errors with not scoring and things like that. Like they're already 6 points off the top. They're just it's gonna widen, I think, and that's okay. That maybe that helps them focus on other things like FA Cup. Are they still in the FA Cup? There's some competition that they keep cheating there. Not cheating. They keep going to extra time to play. I think it's maybe they can win
League
that
Cup.
cup.
That was League Cup.
League
Yeah,
Cup.
Carabao. Carabao Cup.
Like 2 games in a row. I'm like, why do you keep playing
Penalty
penalty
shootout.
shootout? I'm tired of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so I think Chelsea's out, and I think Liverpool is the one that I think even with them going to African Cup of Nations, I've seen midfielders score for that team. I'm really not truly. I think I'm probably of the camp that's not really concerned that they can keep up with City. I just don't know if they will. So I'm just going to play it safe and say City probably wins the league. And again, just because of those odd numbers, like the odds I mentioned earlier, the fact that if when they're on top at Christmas, then they usually win. I think it's just safe for me to stay with that answer. But good luck to Liverpool. Bad luck to Chelsea. Okay, now as far as this 0 Chelsea fans want Tuchel out, I don't know if they were joking, but I definitely saw that on Twitter, and I can just Google hashtag Tuchel out, see what happens.
Yeah, but even in our Facebook group, there are Chelsea fans who are already. They didn't say Tuchel out, but they're already vexing. Like
they're questioning,
criticizing him. Yeah, they're criticizing him strongly. Strong criticism.
I don't really get it. Sorry, since we're on the Chelsea thing, like it's not like Chelsea's playing bad. They're just not finishing, they're not finishing their dinner. And at the end of the day, there's not much, like there's only so much a coach can do. It's one thing if they're just not creating chances. They are creating chances. The last game, they created a lot of chances. Today, everyone knows Wolves is a tough place to Wolves is a tough team to play. Like we all know that. Even United, we've never. I can't remember the last time United beat Wolves. Over like on form, like it's just that team that is just hard to beat. And their coach, I know he's going under the radar. This new coach is real. Like he's good. He keeps them organized. He makes them hard to beat. And so I don't know. I think
just to back up your point, even City only beats Wolves by a goal, and that was a penalty. And Wolves played that match for like 50 minutes with 10 men, and they lost by only 1 goal. And they almost equalized in the last minute. So just to back up your point, that Wolves a difficult team.
Yeah, to play. So Yeah, I don't know, but I think Chelsea, they're still playing good, like whatever you consider good football. I think they're still playing good football, and it's just a matter of finishing those chances, which, like you said, that is going to hurt them in the long run in terms of because, like you said, there's only so much. At some point, the frustration is going to build up with the players too, where it's like they're working hard, but they're just not getting the results that they should be getting. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable that Chelsea doesn't win the league. I know they think it's unreasonable, but I don't. I personally think it would be like last year. They finished. What did they finish last year? I think they
Fourth.
probably did fourth.
They
Okay, so
finished
if you
fourth.
finish third, that's progress, but they don't see it like that. They don't see it like that. They're gonna be
Touche.
so angry.
It will be disappointing. Don't get me wrong, like because of how well they started the season. I know, first
Right.
of all, they went on a high. How they finished last season was remarkable.
Yes.
Finished the beat City in the Champions League. Had a great start to the season, and then it's like this is that crunch time in the season where they need to keep that momentum, and
Yeah.
now they're dropping games for for whatever reason or different factors. So I can definitely see it being frustrating as a Chelsea fan, right? It would feel
Right.
like it's like when your team plays really well and draws the game, and it's like is it a point one or 2 points dropped, right? That's kind of how you look at it.
Right.
And if you're on the team on the side that played really well and you felt you deserved to win, it's gonna feel bitter. It's gonna feel like two
Yes.
points dropped. So
Absolutely. Okay. Well, good luck to y'all top three. Let's move on to the fourth spot. All right. All right. All right. Um, so Arsenal is in fourth place for the last game weeks, even though most teams didn't play. So those of us that are Arsenal fans were kind of like, look, we understand that United has 2 games in hand. Spurs has about, I think they have two. They may have 3 games in hand. Yeah. So
yeah,
these are teams contending for the fourth spot. I'll go first. I think we have a chance to finish top four. I said it earlier when we started like getting to the sixth spot, and then United started, their downward spiral before they fired what's his name, Ole, which I think was a bad move. Anyway,
Yeah, very bad move. Very bad move.
yeah. So I thought we had a chance, but in my mind, I think now that it's clearly not over, right? The season is still midway through. Spurs is resurging. United is also resurging, I would say, in a way. I'm not totally convinced yet. I need to see more. But let's say so far they haven't lost since they fired Ole. And then West Ham, even though I don't know why, I keep saying I didn't understand how they kept beating these giants, the Chelseas and the Liverpools. But some of these clubs can do that, and that's fine. I'm not necessarily a big fan of the idea that West Ham will finish fourth, but they are certainly in the conversation. So what do you guys think? Do you think we're pretenders or fourth contenders? What do you think? And if we're not, who would you guys put instead? Who do you guys think will finish fourth? We'll start with you, Ola.
Okay. Well, bad news. I think your North London neighbors are going to take fourth place this season.
Spurs. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think so.
You guys
Antonio
read that.
Conte is it. Sorry, it's bad news for the Gunners, but
Mhm.
Antonio Conte, he's making Harry Kane look interested again. Harry
Yes.
Kane today, that's the best I've seen him play this season. Harry Kane is looking interested again, and that was a big problem for them before they sacked what's his name, Nuno.
No.
Harry Kane was not looking interested. He was hardly in the box. He was not doing anything. It was Son. Son was one carrying them. But today you could see Harry Kane was interested. Harry Kane, he had like 4 chances. Okay, he missed 3 of them, but he still scored. And before, he wasn't even having chances. In the previous games, he wasn't even in the position to be missing chances. So you can see that Conte is getting to him. And when Harry Kane is interested, that's danger. That's danger for other teams. And Spurs, with their 2 games in hand or 3 games, if they win, I know, okay, it's a big if, but if they won 2 of those games, they'll actually be ahead of Arsenal. And also, I know that they are in this conference league, this UEFA conference league. I think they're actually trying to dodge. I think they're trying to dodge that competition because they refuse to play that. Okay, they were supposed to play it, they cancelled it, and then they said, "Oh, okay, we want to play it now." And UEFA were like, "Nah, it's too late."
Right.
So I think they'll be happy to go out of that competition because they need to win their final game in that group to qualify in that
Okay.
competition. But I don't think they care. I don't think they care. I think they happily go out of that competition and focus on the league. And if they do, then for me, they're strong favorites for fourth place. Arsenal have, to be honest, Arsenal have done well. Arsenal have done well considering all the crises you guys have. Aubameyang, oh my God, all this nonsense and the shenanigans happening. You guys you've won 3 on the bounce, and I think 3 of those games. 2, is it 2 on the bounce?
Yeah,
oh,
we
okay.
lost to Everton.
Everton,
1,
yeah.
Newcastle 1. This one.
Okay, you lost to United.
Lost United and then Everton and then won Newcastle and yesterday Leeds.
Okay, so it's 2 on the bounce. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I just think that's good because for some reason I think that actually works for you guys instead of drawing games. It works out. You pick up more points when you lose 2 and win 2 instead of like drawing 1, losing 1, winning 2. You know, like I mean, it's usually better to just, if you're going to lose, just lose and then win the next 2. You know, basically.
I understand. It's true.
Yeah, so draws can be annoying. So I think that's one thing Arsenal has going for them. But I just think you guys have done really well, apart from trolling, because this the team is young, and I always like this guy Martinelli, and I'm happy Martinelli is playing now. There was one, I think EJ will remember, was it last season when you guys were going to play Chelsea, and I said, look, Martinelli is going to score in this game. I think it was 2 seasons ago. I've always liked him, and I always, yeah. The problem was I think he got injured because I used to wonder, why is this boy not in the team? Why is this boy not in the team? I think he's just a very good player, and now that the coach is using him, and you have Smith Rowe coming off the bench, so you guys have a chance. I'm not writing off Arsenal, but I just think Spurs with Conte and with the fact that Harry Kane is interested again, I think Spurs might just United. I don't know. I won't write them off either, but I think they have a lot of issues that Ragnick won't just magically make disappear. There's still a lot of there has to be balance. There has to be a lot of work in the defense. I don't know if they'll be able to play Harry Maguire. Can he play a pressing game? Can Lindelof play a pressing game? Is Wan-Bissaka good enough on the ball to play a pressing game? I just think he needs I think he needs better personnel to execute his pressing game. So I don't think United will make it. So Spurs for me.
Okay. How about you, Josh?
Oh, geez, this is a tough one because I think there's a lot of teams that are contending for that top fourth spot. Ola took the words out, basically the question out of my mouth, because I was going to ask on my points. Would you think it's smart for Spurs to drop out of the what's it called again?
Conference. Conference league. It's just a useless competition.
Very useless.
The conference league.
Did you know what Brendan Rodgers said?
The same anthem as the Europa League, so it's like, I guess it's not too bad, but
Brendan Rodgers.
Sorry?
Exactly, Josh. I was just about to tell you that Brendan Rodgers, they got eliminated from Europa League and they got relegated to this conference league. And Brendan Rodgers was like, I'm sorry, I don't even know what that competition is about. That's the coach of Leicester. So I was like, man, he's not even interested in playing that competition. So seriously, it's a useless competition.
That's true. Yeah, so that was my question, and then you brought up that great point in terms of, because I was thinking, maybe drop out of that and then focus on an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup or something, and then focus on top four. I don't want to say, obviously, watching Tottenham today, and obviously Tottenham hasn't lost since Conte came in, but the performances have been up and down. But watching them today was different. Like Dele Alli looked like the old Dele Alli that we've seen, that we saw like maybe 4 seasons ago. You look at what's his name, Dembele. I haven't seen this guy run in forever, and the way he was chasing down balls, the way he was pressing, it shows you that the team, they're buying into Conte's philosophy. They're buying into what he's trying to do at the club. Arsenal, are they? I don't want to say pretenders, because they're doing what they have to do, and I said that a couple of weeks back. Arsenal was winning games. Obviously, beginning of the season was just unfair. Like, they started off season, was it City was the opening game, and then you had
Brentford.
Liverpool. Was it Brentford?
City, Liverpool.
And the Brentford one is it threw everyone by surprise, because no one thought Brentford was going to be the team that they are, right?
So I'm sure maybe Arsenal probably not saying that they didn't go into that game with the the focus to win, but when you're going against the team that came from the championship, yeah, you're probably not going to play at the same level
Right.
that you would typically play a traditional Premier League team. So that was a rude awakening for Arsenal and I guess the entire league as well.
Yeah.
Watching Brentford play that game, and then you had what City and Liverpool back to back,
Right.
where it's just like obviously
Chelsea.
you guys just didn't have it nice. But ever since then, you guys have picked it up. You've dusted your shoulder, you've dusted all everything off, and you're rolling. And I think the most important thing is obviously no one's expecting Arsenal to win the league or anything like that. But
Right.
Arsenal is doing what you have to do. Just win the games you're supposed to win. I know we make fun of you lost to Everton, but Everton is not a small club by any, stretch of the imagination. So, like we almost lost to Everton. You know what I mean? So Arsenal is going to be different, but I just feel like Arsenal doesn't have the squad depth to go far. I just feel like you guys have, Smith Rowe, Martinelli, and Saka. I think those are your three main guys. Obviously, your defense is looking a bit better with what's his name in goal. So,
Yeah.
but I just feel like it's the squad that I just feel like one or two injuries or a fallout in some shape or form, whether it's with the coach, because I feel Arteta kind of has that, he's rough from the feathers a little bit, whereby one day he's nice and the next day, he falls out with a player. So that's the kind of vibes that Arteta gives me. So I feel like you guys are just something away from kind of regressing. But I think this is really great progress from Arsenal. Like we haven't seen this in a long time, where you guys are actually beginning to play like a team. He's going away from the favorites and actually, rewarding players that are actually performing on the field. So it's going to be very tough. Going to United, I still feel United will finish top four just because we have the team to do it. We have we've always talked about we're the team of individual brilliance, and I feel like even though, what's his name, Ralph Radnick might not be able to get his philosophy down packed, but I think that we have enough talent there to see games like Ole did on their Ole. Like how many games did we see us, feeling like we're going to lose that game or draw that game and somebody pulls something out of the hat. So I think among these three teams, Tottenham, Arsenal, and United, Tottenham, and Arsenal. I think United still has the firepower, and still has and I think the experience too, right? Like the experience of knowing how to, compete in that top four race. Because that's another thing too. Arsenal hasn't been there in a long time, so when it's crunch time, nerves might kick in. You know what I mean? And then Tottenham, the same thing too, whereby they start getting nervous, and so I think United have the players, to pull it off. They have the coach to pull it off as well, and the experience. So I'm sticking with my team, United, to finish fourth. But I think it's
Okay.
going to be a very interesting,
Yeah.
a top three race, a top four race, and a top six race. I think we're going to see a lot of great football.
Okay. Good. 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 I think for Arsenal, I'll jump back to Arsenal. I think for us, even finishing top six will be progress over the last two seasons, right? Because we know we finished eighth twice in a row. And then I think what you both said is true regarding Arsenal. The fact that we are I keep saying a young squad, that probably gives me more nerves than anything else. But we are winning the games that I would say in the last two seasons, you couldn't even guarantee that we would beat Southampton. Like even though Wenger's era, Southampton was usually three. That's even not true. Newcastle was definitely points. But some teams like some of these teams that last Wolves doing the double over us. I never understood that last season. I don't expect that to happen again this year. So I'm a little bit more confident this season than last season. I think the way we distribute the ball is way better now. Like Aaron Ramsdale is definitely a better distributor of the ball. Just go watch some of the goals we scored like lately. It almost always starts from the back with Aaron
Yeah.
Ramsdale distributing the ball forward, and then these players are getting into positions. These people weren't scoring before, like not consistently anyway. Saka wasn't really at scoring as much. ESR wasn't scoring as much. Gabriel Martinelli wasn't playing, and it was a combination of him being injured and also the coach not selecting him. Like that's what happened. Like so, I think either they were working on him with something, with some technique or whatever, or the coach didn't rate him to the point where he felt like he needed to start him. But this guy is, I'm surprised he's still fit because usually after he plays 2 or 3 games, he's clutching his knee and he's out for another 2 or 3 weeks. So I think, yeah, I agree. I think objectively, I definitely think Spurs has an edge just because of the coach. And what you say is true. United, I thought they were in the title race, and I'm not joking. Usually I joke when I talk about title races. But that was when the season started. When they got Ronaldo, I was like, oh, they're serious. This guy scores goals for a living. And he's still scoring goals for his living, He hasn't missed a beat when scoring is concerned. But you guys are not scoring enough goals. You're also leaking goals, and that's happening. But you're right. Your squad should not be struggling with the rest of us. And so maybe that's going to be a factor. But we'll see. So, Josh, you're going with United. Ola is going with Spurs, and I'm going to stick with my team. Good luck to us. We'll see what happens. All right. I think that's it for the major part of the podcast. We're going to jump into kudos and donkeys of the week, even though not much has happened this weekend. You guys have any kudos? Anyone you want to give kudos to or any team?
Oh,
Yeah.
geez.
Yeah. Okay, I can go. Yeah. Well,
go ahead.
I'll start with Donkey. Donkeys of the week. I've ranted about them already, but the Premier League, shambolic organization. For this COVID, EJ said something during this podcast. These guys have known about COVID for close to 2 years now. You can't tell me that even scientists were saying, look, come winter, there'll be a surge in infections. They should have known this was coming. They should have had a plan in place. They haven't. So they're donkeys for that. They're real donkeys. You are a multi-billion-pound industry, and you didn't put any measures in place for this. And look at other leagues that you're playing. They've not cancelled matches in Spain, in Italy. They've not cancelled many, if they've cancelled any at all. Those leagues are still, Bundesliga still played. They didn't have any cancellations. And Premier League, best league in the world, shambles. Games getting cancelled left and right. No, donkeys, pure donkeys of the week. Kudos of the week, Lewandowski for breaking the Bundesliga record for goals scored in a calendar year. He broke it and get Muller's record. I think he has 69 goals in 59 games. Incredible.
Oh, wow.
Incredible. So that's kudos, and I'll share my kudos also to Dusan Tadic. He broke Messi's record for the most assists in a calendar year. So I'm giving him and Lewandowski my kudos of the week. That's very good achievement for both of them.
Great points. What about you, Josh?
For kudos of the week, I forgot about Tadic. How do you say his name? Tadic?
Tadic.
Tadic. That was really, obviously, I know people might say, oh, it's in the Dutch league, but professional football is professional football, right? And to do it consistently at a high level, you got to commend him for that. I was gonna say City just because they're cruising as well. I hate to say it, but they're showing the league how it's done. They're not out there requesting games to be canned, to be postponed. They're out there just playing.
They don't have any cases, man. They don't have any cases. They don't have anybody with COVID.
I know Pep is sneaky like that. The moment they have one case, all of a sudden he's gonna be at the ref's face and talking about how City is at a disadvantage. So the donkeys of the week, I want to say obviously I want to give you the 3. Even though because we didn't, was it last week? Okay. So I'm going to give it to the EPL because of what's going on right now. The referee from today's game, because the Liverpool Tottenham game, that was a bit it just, his calls were not consistent with the penalties, because I do agree that the Harry Kane challenge should have been a red card as well. And then the Salah handball, no one still knows the actual laws of the handball, like the handball.
They keep changing it. They keep changing it every season.
And it's based on who is behind the monitor, right? This behind the screen to determine if it's intentional or non-intentional or stuff like that. So I think the second goal for Liverpool should not have stood. And then I think the Robertson challenge, I think that was a red card. But if Kane had gotten the red card from the beginning, then we wouldn't have had to talk about the Robertson's red card and the Salah handball. Who knows, right? But obviously, I still believe that Tottenham had a really good game, and that was a fair result. So I'm giving the referee Donkey of the Week, and also UEFA Champions League the draw as well. I know that was last week, but
Oh yes.
you still gotta slide that in.
So bad.
That was terrible.
You still
That
gotta
was
slide
terrible.
that in. So
But at least you guys don't play PSG. You should be happy.
yeah, I'm kind of
That was a
happy.
major change.
Yeah, the PSG one, obviously, not to go on this, but I'm sure when the Champions League resumes, we'll probably be talking about that a bit more.
Yes.
In a sense, I'm kind of happy that a part of me wanted PSG just because they're not as much of a team as an Atletico Madrid, but at the same
Mhm.
time, I'm happy we didn't get PSG because all it takes is one of those front three to have a good
Yes.
game, or a good 2 weeks, and it's nighty night, game over for us. So especially with Harry Maguire at the back. So so yeah, so
Come on.
it's a bittersweet thing, but I can't complain with Atletico Madrid.
Okay. I think the true donkeys for me as well is the EPL for sure. But I'm gonna go with an alternative donkey. And it's gonna be strange. It's gonna be the same person is my donkey and my kudos. And I'll give it to my coach, Arteta. And the donkey part, the donkey part is the whole Alba situation, and Arsenal fans are divided down the line. I've seen Arteta outers support this decision, and I've seen Arteta inners, you know, this denigrate the decision. Most Arteta inners are for the decision, obviously, but I think even the Arteta outers some of them are like, oh, good job, like hold his feet to the fire, Oba. So Oba went out of town, went to I believe it was Paris, came back a day late, and I believe the reason the reason he wasn't included in the squad was because of the COVID time frame. You really can't be out a certain number of days outside of the game time, something like that. So either way, he's not able to play that game. But then it became a disciplinary issue, which I believe has not been explained to us. I don't believe the coming late for practice warrants what has happened so far. So the whole exclusion from the team. In fact, they said he's not going to play again until he goes to African Cup of Nations in January. He's training with the youth. So it's bigger than what we think. So I just want him to forgive Oba for whatever happened. I believe he insulted Arteta. That's the only thing I can think of that would make it this necessary to cut him off from the team, remove the captain band, ostracize him, relegate him to train with the juniors. And until they tell me what he said, I can't in good conscience say, hey, it's okay. I don't know if it's anything he did on the field, because Oba has not been doing much on the field for weeks. So is it, is it the field issue or not? If they say it's disciplinary, if you're going to tell me at all, I want to know what happened so I can draw my own conclusions. I don't just jump on conclusions that other people draw without complete information, depending on what I know. So, and I know how Arsenal has been in the past. They don't really tell the truth. So I think that's just a donkey of a situation. So he's the donkey, but he's also my kudos because I think what people expected was that, we will fall apart, especially these last two games. Hey, Oba is a very popular figure in the team, and these young players look up to him. They do. It's a fact. Like, they all look up to him. He's very gregarious. He's very sociable. He will interact with them. He encourages them and all of that. So when Saka scores or when ESR scores, you see him there. It's a team. There's real camaraderie there. He's best friends with Laka. But then you see Laka also being the captain. Laka said, I would love to be the captain. So you don't miss your friend. He doesn't miss his friend. So therefore, there's no
going out.
Exactly.
I thought he was supposed to be leaving in January.
He's probably leaving too. But it's like the team chemistry is still intact. I don't see a misstep. And that can only come because the players are buying into what the coach is doing. So in some way, his disciplinarian attitude and his iron fist or whatever has not bled into the team and caused problems. So in that aspect, you have to give him kudos for that. So that's why I think it's a double-edged sword with him. I have to watch Arteta closely. I don't know what he's doing with Oba. I don't want the guy to leave on that kind of a low, especially because I believe he will leave after next season. His contract ends. He's 33. I don't think we need to renew that. But yeah, I don't know about that. But he does get my kudos and my donkey.
Sorry,
Yeah,
right.
but
Let's say something about. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, just to rejoin regarding what I read on the Athletic. Well, I won't say that the gospel, but what David Ornstein usually has good info
Yes,
about Arsenal. I think it's just saying like it's an accumulation of all the things Oba's done. Like there's an
yeah.
accumulation of incidents, and like maybe this one just tipped Arteta over the edge. But actually, I buy into your theory that Aubameyang said something nasty to Arteta. I think I
I
buy
think
into
so.
your theory. Yeah, I buy into that because yeah, it seems okay. It's true. He has maybe offended 3 or 4 times, but this one seems extreme. This punishment
Yes,
seems extreme. Like okay, he came back late. It's not like it took. Of course, he took permission before going.
right.
So okay, came back late, and apparently maybe it was to visit his mother or
Yes,
something. Okay, visited his mother, and yeah, I think I think something else happened afterward. I think he came back. Maybe they told him, okay, we're going to take the captain badge off you, and then he went off on one. Maybe he just
right.
maybe cussed out Ateta, and Ateta was like, okay, then
That's what I
you're
think.
going to play with. Yeah, I actually buy into theory. I buy into your theory. I do.
Yeah.
Because I bet you if he was scoring goals like crazy, I don't know if we'd go this way. Like, I think we forgive him for being late here and there. So I think, yeah, it's a combination of, yeah, disciplinary issues, but I believe he definitely cursed Arteta out. And it's like, Arteta is not going to stand for that and all of that. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah. So I was going to quickly say, you know what? Arteta kind of gives me the Mourinho vibes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That like he either likes you, but the moment the water is, things are shaky, he can let the worst out of you come out, kind of thing.
Mm.
The worst in you come out. But and Arteta is like, he's like the Secret Service. Is every time, what was the one interview where he's just like, oh, we heard there was a problem in the camp of da 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 da. I think it was like privacy or whatever. He's like, oh yeah, we handled it. And it's like, what are you talking about? We handled
Yeah.
it. So it's like, I'm looking forward to this Amazon special on Arsenal, but at the same time, like, yo, is it just gonna be we handled it? I want to see
We'll
some
see.
action. I really want to
Oh
see
my
some
goodness.
action. But I
Someone
think
actually on Twitter, someone said that they believe that's an act, like we're acting a script for the Amazon
yeah.
show. This whole Alba
Also, he's
situation.
putting his movie face on, his screen face on.
Yeah.
But overall, I think the Oba situation, I think, like, obviously we're not there behind the scenes, but I can kind of see how people can look at it one way. But for me, I kind of agree with it in a sense, because it's like that repeat offender whereby it's just like one strike, two strikes, and the third strike is kind of like, okay, because you gotta,
Right.
as much as he's gonna go as a legend, Aubameyang is gonna be a legend of Arsenal, like what he's done for the club. But you
Yeah.
gotta realize he's 33 years old. He's like one of the oldest players on that team. You have the likes of Saka, Smith Rowe, that's supposed to be looking up to this legend of the club. And yes, you're not performing on the field, which is fine. Like, I know everyone has a bad
They have
patch.
dips. Yeah.
Same with Harry Kane is having a bad patch or whatever. But when you're apparently going around London, just you're doing things that is not showing leadership as a captain, one. And then it's also just not necessarily. So I'm saying maybe the camp might be happy, but maybe they're probably seeing things that people in the camp are not necessarily happy with.
Mm.
Like, maybe might not be a good example to the young players there. So I think maybe
Gotcha.
that's where it's a matter of, okay, at some point, because he has to be strict with his captain, right? Because if not, who's to say that Saka or Smith Rowe can just go and do whatever they want? Especially they're younger, so they're more likely to, do some radical stuff or crazy things. So it's like it's getting to that
We
point
have
where it's
good
like,
boys on our team, unlike you guys with Greenwood. That
sorry,
does. We have our young boys are so good and holy, unlike
Yeah,
Greenwood
right.
and Busaka.
oh
But
my goodness.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But no, I agree. I think
It's that Manchester vibe, right? I think
sure.
Greenwood just
I'm
wants to
not
go to
sure why.
London. That's probably what it is. He's itching for some parties.
But hey,
But
we're looking into Greenwood. Maybe we're gonna get him. Who knows?
I don't know how true those rumors are, but we'll see. We'll see.
I'll be like, open arms, bring Goodwood to us. He wants to play with his friends. He'll get into the English squad.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I kind of see both ways. In terms of it could be the disciplinary issue kind of makes sense, and plus his contract is running out. He hasn't
Yeah.
really been performing well. He's 33. He should know better. By the end of the day, was it because of his mom's situation? That's why he was late. That we don't know, and I think that's something that we need to know as well, right? There has to be that.
Last season or earlier this season, at some point, we gave him leave because his mom was sick. So I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right. I don't know if it's an ongoing issue. Maybe she's sick and he does have to visit her periodically. Who knows? But like
yeah.
I said, I think the punishment is just excessive. Like I get it. Use him as an example. Strip him of the captain. But even though I don't know, I know who I think should be the captain. I think it should be the goalkeeper. Everyone thinks it's too soon. I don't think so. But I think yeah, maybe strip him off the captaincy and just leave it there. I think something else happened, but we'll find out. All right. It's been real. It's been a good session today. Thank you both for joining us. And hopefully season goes on. I'm team season goes on. Everybody play your games. But I'm also for health and take care of yourself. So EPL figure this out and let's make sure we finish the season. Or don't finish the season and let the table end the way it is right now.
None avoid the season. None avoid. Cancel it all.
I don't know about that, man. That would be some riots in the streets.
That's what they did last year.
Riots on the streets.
We'll be getting taken out.
Good. No problem.
Thank you guys. See you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you guys. Bye.
Take care.